Guys, so I just want to share a couple tips that could help on your return of serve. So some days you may not be feeling the return of serve, and the beginning of the match is actually the first time to really work on your return of serve. It is a part of the game that's quite underrated, the amount of practice that gets put into the return of serve. So my 3 tips for you, if you were struggling with the return of serve. First, I would say put the ball in the court. When you give yourself a bigger target, you're going to have a lot easier time getting the ball inside the court. So just aim for a big court. So that's the first basic baseline of what you need to have a solid foundation on the return of serve. Because if you can get the return in all the time, you can put yourself inside the point and give yourself the best chance of winning the point as well. Okay, so the second depth of that, well, the second part of it, just kind of gave it away. The second part of that is actually the depth of the shot on the return. So you really want your returns to be deeper than the service line. If you're having the ball land in the service line, you're giving up a lot of court. You're kind of putting yourself out of position, and you are, you're not giving yourself the best chance to win the point. So even Djokovic is only 56% chance of winning the second serve returns, which is a pretty small number in the pro game, but it just shows you how much he's actually going for on the second serve. He's trying to get the ball deep. He's trying to put himself in a position to win the point. And even though, they're hitting big serves, so the second main objective is to get the ball deep. So the third objective, the top of the pyramid basically, is where it stands. You want the top of it to be getting the ball to the weakness of the opponent. So if it was a lefty, maybe it's his backhand. If it's a righty, maybe it's his backhand. It just depends on the opponent you're playing. But if you can hit it to that side of the court, you're going to give yourself another chance to set up the best chance to win the point. You're also going to be getting the ball deep, and you're also going to be getting the ball inside the court. So those three criteria that you meet could really help to improve your return game. So just focus on that. Don't start at the very top. Don't start aiming for the guy's weakness on the return of serve. Kind of use the beginning of the match to kind of get yourself situated into the match. First, start working on getting your returns inside the court. Next, try to get your balls deep to your opponent on the return of serve, past the service line, ideally 3/4 of the way back through the court, so halfway past no man's land. And lastly, get the ball to your opponent's weakness, especially off a return that a serve that can go either to your forehand or backhand, when your opponent can mix it up well. It is important to actually get the ball to the opponent's weakness for that part too. So work your way up the ladder during the match. If you start feeling more confident with your stroke, increase to the second level, increase your depth. And then if you feel even more confident, work on moving to the opponent's weakness. And also in practice, try using all three types of the pyramid to get your returns in court, winning points, and keeping it deep, giving yourself the best chance to win the point. Much success. Bye, guys.